Hey, it's Nicole, and I'm back again with positive impact for mind and body. Today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fear and its effects on your mind and body. Basically, we all have fear. I mean, if it's not global warming, it's going to be if I catch COVID. If it's not COVID, it's a fear of lack. If it's not a fear of lack, it's a fear of the commute or your son getting in the right school or losing your job or whatever the case may be. And when we're not focused on that, we voluntarily invite fear into our minds and bodies by watching horror movie after horror movie after horror movie. It is such a toxic environment for your mind and body to live in. It makes it difficult for you to digest, for you to focus or think about anything else that's more positive and reaffirming to the positive things in your life. It also makes it difficult for your blood vessels to respond appropriately. When they're all constricted and tight because of fear and anxiety, it's very difficult for circulation to get into parts of your body that really need it. So, what do we need to do in order to alleviate the fear in our lives and our general anxiety? I think COVID in general has produced a lot of anxiety in everyone I know, everyone I come in contact with. Their sleep is disrupted, their eating patterns are disrupted, they don't feel comfortable, even in their own skin when they're home, just relaxing or trying to relax. So there's a lot going on in our world today that we can choose not to be fearful. And I'm not saying to be in a state of denial, but there are steps that you can take to alleviate fear, to bring your metabolism back into balance. And this is key because of serotonin, the thing that's responsible for making us feel safe, comfortable, and happy, and GABA, also responsible for making us feel safe. If those aren't in balance, then it's almost impossible for you to lose weight or to stay healthy. All those feelings, all those anxious ideas and thoughts in your head are going to start playing itself out in cellular regeneration and not in a good way. So, one of the things I like to do with people is play out the worst case scenario. Now, you might think, wait, what? I'm supposed to get rid of this fear, not replay it. But what we're trying to do is be realistic. Play out the worst case scenario so that you know what to anticipate. And very often, the worst case scenario isn't actually that bad. If you lose your job, you can imagine getting a new one with a better pay and more fun place to work in. If you are grappling with leaving your significant other and how desperate that sounds and how it might affect your finances, it might affect your home, imagine then that playing out and you seeking help where you can to get the support you need in order to do those things. There are always alternatives to how we shape and create our responses, I want to say, to things like fear. So the first thing is acknowledge the fear, right? Acknowledge that it's happening. Don't shove it to the background because it'll give your metabolism more of a fight in the background, in the subconscious mind, if you choose to keep pushing it down, push it down. Allow the fear to come up, acknowledge it. But then on the second piece of this, you're not going to be in denial, but play out the worst case scenario. So one, I have fear. Two, this is the worst thing that could happen to me. And three, then you focus on the best thing that could happen to you. Like I said, getting the job of your dreams, being in a relationship that's totally supportive and understands you for who you are. Those are really, really important. The fourth thing is, and I really do want you to try to do this because it is so helpful to your body. Last night I gave a talk and all I did was a simple visualization, allowing people to sync their minds and bodies together and then drop into the area of their body that's holding fear. Now, I didn't actually ask them to do that part of it, but someone said, when I did that, just that step alone, I realized I had so much pain and tension in my shoulders and my neck, and it was from a fearful situation. So what you want to do is acknowledge that your body is trying to manage this for you, first of all. And secondly, give it a voice, a speaking opportunity. Okay. So once you have that speaking opportunity, you have this conversation with the fear inside your body and you allow it to have a voice. So what's the voice going to say to you? And if you have a good imagination, you get the idea. It could say a lot of things, like I'm afraid of, falling off of high cliffs. I'm afraid of eating the wrong thing. I'm afraid of dying from an allergy, and whatever it is. But allow it to speak to you and then breathe into that area of your body and reassure it, maybe in a quiet voice, just to yourself, that you are seeking a solution and you are actively involved in resolving what's going on inside your body mind. Okay. So that, in essence, will stop the effects of fear on the body, and it'll help you refocus your attention on things that are more positive and productive. So the next step after you do that is you've cleared the fear. You're going to replay the best case scenario again, and at the very end of this best case scenario in your imagination, I want you to sink further down into your body mind. Breathing deeply, begin to settle your mind into an alpha state. Now, you can do this in a number of ways. One, you can look up binaural beats on YouTube, and you want to try to get the binaural beats that are going to influence and entrain the brain into an alpha or theta state. I've talked about this a couple of times last year as well. If you're going to use binaural beats, you want to use 2 earbuds because that's how they activate the alpha state within the brain. It has to resonate between both eardrums. If you cannot find that or you don't have earbuds, then find an isochronic tone in order to entrain the brain into an alpha or theta state. In this state, you are then able to play an active role, an active part in your subconscious mind. And you're going to do things like hand your problem over to God, right? And see God transform it completely into that best case scenario that you just set up for yourself so you can remember it quickly, right? Each time you do this, you're creating new neural synaptic connections within the brain that's going to help you create more serotonin and more GABA. Those are 2 crucial things to help abate fear. When that happens over and over and over again and replays in your brain, then it's more resilient and better prepared to handle fears to come. So each time you're doing this, you're kind of practicing the same way you would practice lifting weights for, better biceps and triceps. You're practicing and you're rehearsing that muscle. You're working that muscle in the brain that's going to help you navigate life in the future with or without fear. And that, I think, is so empowering. It's so nice to know that we can do this with our brains, that we actually have this ability. The other side of this, the benefits of doing this type of these 7 steps, this type of exercise, is that your metabolism will automatically begin to regulate and decrease its output of cortisol. And you know what cortisol is, right? It's the thing that keeps the fat around the waistline in the body. So if we can do this daily, we're going to have fantastic results in terms of our weight loss goals, our ability to manage stress and handle anxiety on a daily basis, and predict and create better outcomes in the future. I am a big advocate of this type of process versus just saying after affirmation after affirmation after affirmation. We already know, and there have been a lot of studies done on how affirmations and mantras don't actually work for almost 80% of the population. Why? Because the people it works for have already got an internal system that says they're going to be okay. They have good self-esteem. They have good self-confidence. They have the ability to recognize and use their will in a way that's positive for themselves. A lot of us weren't raised with that root system, that base system that supports our best case scenario. We're oftentimes, stuck in that fear motif. I know my parents were raised during the Depression. So that was huge in my upbringing. There was a lot of fear in my background, a lot of fear and anxiety, and I had to recognize it. And it didn't become very, very clear until after I was attuned in 1990 for Reiki, to be a Reiki practitioner. And then all of a sudden, all the things that I thought were normal, I realized were actually really, really deeply steeped in fear and anxiety. So these are just my own experiences, but don't take my word for it. There are plenty of people that I have also worked with that I have helped turn fear around for. And you can even do a little research. Read my review page on my website, mindbodymastery.org. And I'll put that back down here again. I know you guys have seen it if you've been on Positive Impact Life, but it does help to see somebody else's experience when you're searching for solutions. So I think I did that right, mindbodymastery.org. If you also are interested in just kind of following uh, one T in mastery, forgive me. If you're also interested in following me or just catching up with me with some more information, if you want more of this mind body information, you can follow me at Nicole's MBM on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock with more fun and interesting details about depression. See you tomorrow. Bye.